Hey, welcome back to another edition of Ego on Break. Forgot what it was called. It's been that long.
Well, we've been busy, both of us.
Oh man, this is 2 weeks. 2 weeks in the making, maybe 3 weeks. We've been trying to get together. Just hadn't worked out. We both bought some figures for the collection, so we're gonna show those off. And then our friend Newt Cox over at Ass Hat Podcast sent in a request. He wanted to hear the topic of our top favorite 5'10" women that were pre-Attitude Era women.
I did 5.
He did 5. I did 10.
Okay. You told me 5.
Well, it's been a long time, so I just kept adding to my list. So I could probably break it down to 5. So I'll do 5 as
But
well.
no, it had to be before a certain time too.
Yeah, it had to be pre-Attitude Era.
Yeah.
So
boy, that wasn't easy.
Yeah, your Trish Stratuses and Litas and Molly Hollies and
you're
Miss
younger
Jackies
than me.
and Sunnies and all of that was out the window.
I'm 47. How old are you?
42.
Okay.
41. Yeah. I don't know. 40 something. I don't know. I honestly don't even know. I lied about my age so long. I don't remember how old I am. So I'll give you my wrestling age. And my wrestling age, I'm 51.
Yeah.
So
Sure. Okay. Well, that means you're older than I am.
yeah, I'm in my 50s.
I've always used my real age.
Yeah, I just figured that I kind of took from the dude that trained Jericho, where he would lie about his age because for his age he sucked, but for 10 years older he was pretty good. So that's what I did.
God.
I'm like, for 50 I ain't bad.
Oh, kidding.
So that's my little homage to
I move
Jericho's
around like I'm
trainer.
almost 50.
But yeah, gonna do that. So we're gonna do pre-Attitude Era women. We're gonna I guess show off some figures that we picked
I
up.
got mine short as just
So
2.
yeah, I got 3, so not bad. You want to go ahead and show yours off?
Yeah, I can do that.
Oh yeah, I'm Dynamite J. Andrews, Mississippi Madman, Logan Creed. So that's who we are.
Our buddy
nice.
Paul Ride had been showing this one online, and he was looking for a nice price on it, and I found it. But it's John Moxley, one of
5,000.
5, and it's going for like $80 now.
Nice.
It was going for almost 200.
Yeah.
And that dropped like.
Yeah, I have a 1 of 500 Moxley Chase, and I've got it up for like $500.
Oh, I'm blind.
So
It's still up there. This
yeah,
one dropped.
it's been for sale for like 2 years.
Yeah, it probably will.
So
be. Maybe got like an autograph or something. Possibly,
yeah, maybe, but they only made 500 of them. So
Now, this one I found just unique,
Oh, that's
just
cool.
because I was a fan of Bulldog, and I want the braids one with the big
yeah,
flag and everything. But it's actually when he come back to WWE and he was wearing blue jeans.
and short hair.
Yeah, and had
Yeah, this is
really
like Eat
short
the
hair.
Dog Food era.
Yeah, with Ken Shamrock. Yeah,
Yep, kind of like loose cannon style. Like I'm
Yes.
crazy.
but yeah, that was 2 I got. So
All right.
20 and made 60 technically, and I spent like $2 on both.
Oh yeah,
Bulldog.
that's not bad. Well, I picked up this Superstars
Oh, you finally
Earthquake
found it, huh?
$750. Got it on clearance.
God, I couldn't find it, dude. I hunted and hunted.
I'm still looking for Typhoon. So there's that. But yeah, so there's the back. So the funny thing about my local Walmart is they have a lot of like the Undertaker, Mankind, Bray Wyatt. They probably had like 30 of those on the rack.
Oh yeah, they're
Wouldn't take
everywhere.
them. Found this on the clearance aisle. So I guess the newest series they just stuck straight to the clearance aisle.
Wow.
And it sucks because there was like 3 or 4 of them, but it was like this one, The Rock, maybe a Macho. But this is the one I was looking for. I got all of them, of course, because they were on clearance. But yeah, so I got
I've hunted and hunted and hunted.
so I got
that
the Earthquake, man. I've been looking for him. Still looking for Typhoon.
bastard.
I didn't realize I was as big of a Natural Disasters fan until now, but I'm a huge Natural Disasters fan.
I still like Earthquake too when he did the crushing of Damien.
Yeah,
Remember that?
yep. When he used
Great
to
storyline.
tag around with Dino Bravo.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right, next up I have a Impact Monty
God.
Brown figure. I don't know if I've showed this on here.
I don't think.
I don't
so.
think I
I've
had. I
never
bought
seen
it a
that
while
one.
back, put it on my wall with the intentions to bring it on here and show off.
That's
But
not
I was a
bad
huge
looking
Monty
figure.
Brown pounce. So you may know him as Marcus Corvon from the
Yeah,
short-lived ECW.
for like 2 weeks.
But
What's it got? Huh?
yeah, it's like a thing that holds him up or something, like so you could
Well,
like
it makes
pose
you
him and stuff.
tackle them. Oh, it makes you do the pounce.
Ah,
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
if you can see it.
Yeah.
There you go. Wow.
So it'll never get used, but I just thought it was a cool figure.
I forgot.
I don't have a ton of Impact stuff.
Who are the others on the back? Let me see that one more time.
Chris Sabin, Raven, and AJ
Oh, I'd
Styles.
love to. I've seen that Raven before, and I didn't get the damn thing. Of course.
Yeah, and the cool thing is these are made by Marvel.
That's
so
awesome.
they have like a ton of articulation and stuff. So they're really cool
I was a
figures,
big Marty
and
Brown fan.
they are highly sought after. So they're probably the better of the Impact figures.
I think his biggest thing he did is Marcus Carvons. He did like a four team. He was a member of one of the teams on
Yeah,
ECW.
but like Stryker and Elijah Burke
Yeah.
maybe. And,
It was like new ECW versus
yeah,
old ECW.
And then right after the passing of Bray, I went ahead and picked up a figure. I like this figure a lot. It's a
Finn
2-pack with
Balor.
Finn Balor. I just like that crazy octopus looking thing. I guess it's an octopus on the shirt.
That's literally the same one I got. See,
is
I
it?
thought it come with a vest or something. That's all it come with.
Who
huh?
knows, man?
Okay.
But I ordered this offline. I got it for like less than 20, 25 bucks. I don't know. I don't like to pay that much for figures, but with him
But for
passing
two?
away,
Yeah.
I
And
just
you got
wanted,
two figures.
yeah, I wanted a cool Bray figure. I wanted the like original Wyatt family figures, but they're stupid price.
Yeah,
So
people have gone absolutely crazy.
I'm not a big fan of the Fiend, and in reality, I probably should be.
I
And maybe if I
wanted one
watched
just
it,
to
I
have
would.
one. Yeah.
But this is the closest. This is kind of like in the middle, I guess. So pick that
If you
up.
go up to the video thing up here,
Mhm.
every once in a while look in the Tory and you'll
Yeah,
find some
yeah, I found a
listings.
few there, but they're always like one day it may be $2, the next day it may be $9. It really just depends on who you're
That's in
asking.
North Jackson, man. Like I said, he's like any other time it's be like 10, but how about 2 since you're
Yeah.
here all the time? I'm like, okay.
Because like the first time I went, I was like, "Hey, how much are figures?" And the guy's like, "Oh, like 50 cents a piece."
Mhm.
So I bought like 20 figures, and then went back the next time. And then I'm like, "Hey," it was somebody else in there, and I'm like, "Hey, how much are these loose figures?" He's like, "Oh, they're $9 a piece." Like what? I just bought like 20 of them.
Yep. Depends
Yeah.
on who's in
Depends
there.
on who's there, man. So, yeah. So yeah.
And like 2 weeks ago, he gave me like 5 DVDs for free. I was like, maybe I'm just really good looking and
Well,
didn't realize
That's
it.
okay because I
I was
got
like,
them like
whatever, I'll
200
take
DVDs
it.
for free.
Yeah, I figured they gave
Yeah,
him left and
because
right.
I took like a bunch up there to sale. They're like, "Oh, well, you gotta wait." And I'm like, "When can you get to them?" They're like, "Well, it may be 3 or 4 hours." So I'm like, "Look, bro, like you go through them, you call me. I'm gonna be in town for a little bit." 7 hours later, they called me. I done went home,
They give you like $5.
and he's like, "Oh, well, it's like $11." And I'm like, "You know what? You just keep that. When we can't do it, I'm like, well, I'm not coming back. I live an hour away from you. I'm not driving back for $11."
Yeah, they are bad on pricing.
So I'm like, he's like, well, what do you, he's like, well, there's about 100 of them we couldn't keep or we couldn't buy. I'm like, I guess you're gonna give those things away because I'm not coming back. Well, you can't do that. I'm like, yeah, I can. I done left.
Watch me now.
I hadn't watched. But yeah, on to our list of pre-Attitude Era women. I think I'm gonna say all 10 of mine because. So I mean, I got stories about all of them, I guess.
Yeah.
So
Boy, I thought I had some.
I'll just throw 2 of them out. Vivian Vachon and her niece Luna Vachon. I was a big fan of Luna, but one of the ladies on my list I'd met, so I watched some of her stuff, and some of her stuff was against Vivian. And then all these ladies kind of tied together somewhere down the line.
Is that like her sister or
It
something?
was her aunt.
Aunt,
It was
okay.
the Butcher and Mad Dog's sister.
Oh, okay.
And she was Vivian Vachon. So, Vivian was just mean and nasty, choking, pulling hair, kicking you in the face, stuff like that.
Did she have a
So-
mohawk?
no, that was
Okay.
Mad Maxine.
That's who I was thinking of. Okay.
Yep. My original list, this is like the third list I wrote because, again, we've tried to do this a couple times. But the original list had
Mine stayed
Mad
right.
Maxine on it, but I actually forgot about her. So we'll give her an honorable mention. All right, who you got?
My first is Medusa, which is, out of everybody I got, to me, the best one.
Agreed.
She wrestled WCW and Japan and
Alundra
WWF
Blaze.
as Alundra Blaze for like
Yeah.
a year maybe.
A little while for sure.
And she worked with several of the ladies on here, but she was always one of my favorite women's wrestlers, even when I was a kid.
Yeah,
so.
I was a Medusa fan, but I did not put her on here just because I figured she's like the one people know. So I wanted some people on here that people maybe didn't know. The only 2 I got on her
won't
that
think
are really
they'll know the rest of
known were Luna, and then like my next 2 are Sherry Martel and Wendy Richter.
Mhm.
I'm more of a Sherry Martel fan from her as a manager. However, she did wrestle, and she has this move, and I stole it, so that's the reason she's on my list. where like you'd be down on your hands and knees or whatever, and she would put your head between her legs and just like jump up and like stomp or whatever, and kind of like rattle your brain. And I was like, oh, I could do that to anybody. So I definitely stole that move
Mario
from Sherry. And then Wendy Richter, man, like I watched some of the stuff I saw of her was before like singles action when she was in like a tag, and she was a powerhouse, man. She was like, I don't know, like the Lex Luger of women, you know what I mean? Like, and she was a butt kicker. So I definitely got Wendy Richter on my list.
Yeah, she's on mine too. I'll go ahead and say her. And the biggest match I remember is the WrestleMania match with her. I found some other ones, and they were kind of short, but all the other girls she wrestled, I don't know if they were jobber girls, but the matches were not long. Let's just say that.
They were not.
And
it was an era of, you know, we don't care that you're here type.
I saw an interview of her.
Mm-hmm.
Watch her wrestle. That's the best I can say about her interview. Watch her wrestle, because she could do that. I heard Dutch Mantel a while ago, he goes, you can teach them to wrestle, you can't teach them to talk. And that fit that scenario.
Yeah, I got you. All right, I got Rhonda Singh.
Oh God, I remember.
Ripper Rhonda Singh.
Yeah.
She may be better known as Bertha Faye.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just on here because she was with Harvey Whippleman, and I'm a Harvey Whippleman guy. So
that song she come out was so bad.
I mean,
it's like
she's
a
awesome.
slow
man.
love song.
Yeah.
Remember that?
And it's crazy because like she was this monster in Japan, and then she was like this kind of comedy joke type person
you
over
know,
here.
she's who I stole the sit down from.
Oh, really? Bertha Faye.
Yes, but I would always do this and then do this and sit down. She just sat down and crushed him.
But I just loved that she was with Harvey. Like it was such a great thing. So
like the number 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I got Peggy Lee Leather. She was tagging with Wendy Richter in a lot of the matches I saw.
That was one of the ones I saw.
But that's not the reason I like her. The reason I like her because as I was doing a little research on her, I found out that when she left WWE Elf at the time, she went to like Gulf Coast area, I guess where she was from, like Florida area, and they brought her in as Percy Pringle's sister. So she was Peggy Lee Pringle, and I'm like, you know what? That does it for me. She makes the list. So it has nothing to do with her wrestling ability, although that she wasn't bad. She wasn't a bad worker. It's just the fact that she got brought in to like that Florida area as Percy Pringle's sister, and I popped for it. So.
All right. My third is Leilani Kai, and actually, the feud with her and Medusa is what made me like Leilani Kai.
Yep.
Because in WCW, it was her and Medusa. I don't know how many daggum times, but they beat the brakes on her.
And she was in WWF too. She was she tagged with someone in like the first WrestleMania or something, or one of the early WrestleManias or Survivor Series or whatever. They were like all gold, and I can't remember their name.
But I'll tell you what, before I found out everything was a work, those matches, you couldn't convince me.
Right, I agree with that.
Because they looked like a shoot. They beat the hell out of each other. And I was like, oh my God. There was one match, I think, she worked Medusa. I think it was like 94, 95. There's a motorcycle involved, and she's working her knee. And I swear, I mean, like I say, I was younger, I didn't know no better, but I thought her damn leg was broke. I mean, destroyed her, man.
Well, back then, man, they wanted you to believe, you know.
And I did, you know. And some people don't realize becoming a wrestler, you lose a lot of being a fan of a wrestler because you start learning things that you didn't learn before.
Right. I've got Dark Journey on my list. She's had some matches, but it wasn't huge. But what I loved about her was she came into like the Mid-South area. She came in with like Dick Slater, which was crazy because if you know Dick Slater, like you're not thinking Dark Journey is his chick. And then when like that I think she came into Continental or something. I don't remember where she came in, but it was like a Southern based, Texas based.
She was actually at the thing with Brickhouse that time. Yeah.
And then she ends up being with Tully Blanchard in like the early NWA WCW, like TBS kind of thing when Luger was there with the Four Horsemen and all that. But Dark Journey was just very unique at the time, and I just dug the stuff they did with her. So
then I got I'm gonna go to my last. I'll say the other one for last because there's nothing really great I can say about this. But as a kid, I watched Glow Wrestling.
Right.
And as a kid, I remember it being this great wrestling show.
Right.
As a 47-year-old man, I went back and watched. I was like, You know somebody I liked? Big Bad Mama.
Big Bad
And
Mama.
I found out why I like Big Bad Mama, because in an episode of Married with Children, she kicked crap out of Bud Bundy.
There you go.
Okay, well, that was the good wrestling of Big Bad Mama.
It was all
Because
Married with
Glow,
Children.
holy moly.
Oh,
Just go take a peek on YouTube. It's not hard.
I'm gonna have to
find
look her up
somebody.
because I've seen pictures of her, but I can't. I've never
Boy.
actually watched her.
Me and you could have a better match right here on the hood of my car. It's rough.
You'd have to be Big Bad Daddy.
Yeah. Hey, give me some face paint.
Yeah.
Go down the middle.
I've got Penny Banner on here next. Penny Banner was like the first AWA Women's Champion. Won it like a Gauntlet Battle Royal or something. I don't remember.
Really?
But what was cool about Penny Banner was like she was like athletic and she had a decent look. But the coolest part was like she dated Elvis.
Really?
So that was pretty
That's
awesome.
cool.
Yeah. So I was
Got
like, you
all
know
shook
what?
up.
I mean, that's pretty neat, man. Like, yeah. So said that like the way the story went was like she was working somewhere and I don't know, met like the representative who like sold like Elvis bobbleheads or something, and he was like, oh, you're going to be in like this town, whatever. I'll get you a seat to the concert and I'll get you to meet Elvis. And so said when she got there, she was like in the very tip top, like nosebleed. Said need binoculars to see Elvis, and so she's like, yeah, right. This guy really knows Elvis, And said then like some cops come up and was like, Elvis is waiting on you backstage, and so we got backstage. They just hit it off, and started dating. He would come to like when she wrestled in like Nashville and stuff. He would come to the matches and stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
Come behind.
There are pictures of him at wrestling shows.
Yeah. So but that's why he was there. He was there with Penny Banner. So
Okay.
pretty
That's
awesome.
cool.
Yep. My next one, and I've got two left. This one is really cool because I met this lady later in her life, and she was 76, late 70s, probably
Is this the one you met
70s.
at the gas station. you
Yep,
told
met
me
her at the
about?
gas station. Her name was Jean Anton, little bitty lady, but she went all over the world, Japan, everywhere. Was a little firecracker, a little TNT or dynamite or whatever. Little Miss Dynamite, maybe that was her tagline or something. But she was really cool, and it was crazy because she showed me all these pictures, and like you hear guys talking about, oh, don't take pictures and blah blah blah, this and that.
I don't believe that, man.
Man, like these were her proudest things, you know what I mean? It was just a handful of pictures of her, like Andre and like all these guys backstage, and I wish I could remember who they all were, but I remember like the reason I remember her and Andre because Andre was like holding her. So it was just cool, and it was in like Japan. It wasn't even like around here, like she was in, so it's just crazy. The business, and I wish I could have spent a little more time with her, but I know her. I met her daughter a couple times, and her granddaughter comes to our like Bible school, helps out with Bible school stuff at church sometimes. So pretty cool that this lady traveled the world, and it sucks that she ended up in a gas station. And not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just like you're on the top of the mountain, in Japan and wherever,
Go to the
and
bottom every once in a while.
then you come back down. So it's just the how real wrestling is. Like you're never truly on top. You're up there, but then the bottom's not far away around, or not that far away. And that's the reason they say don't burn bridges on your way up because you got to cross them on your way down. So that's I got one left. You got one
I'll
left?
go with mine. I got Aja Kong. She worked WCW in Japan, and I want to say she even worked the other Japanese federation.
Mm-hmm.
But I went and found a bunch of matches with her. And man, she started kind of at like her mid-20s, I believe, and she was a big girl.
Yeah.
But she could work.
Yep.
And she's one of the ones responsible for helping Awesome Kong train. And I found some of their matches. Holy crap.
Now,
You wanna
didn't
see
she work
two
for like
women?
FMW, like doing the
I
blood
think so.
stuff? Yeah, I
That's
think
what I'm
so.
saying. I'm not positive. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's true. But yeah, Aja Kong, man. You want to see some good, strong style women's wrestling?
Yeah.
Go watch her.
That's cool.
Yeah, and she had to,
Oh yeah. Yep. Yep. Now, was she Bull Nakano as well, or is that somebody different?
I'm
In
not sure, to
WWF.
be honest.
Had the
They
tall
may have had
hair.
to change her name.
She had the tall hair stuck up like
I'm really not
she wrestled
sure.
like Medusa and
I
stuff.
think
and-
they may have had not used her Aja
But
Kong.
I think she was Bull Nakano in WWF.
I'm not sure.
So
I'd
all
have
right,
to look it up.
while you're doing that, I'm gonna talk about my last lady. Kay Noble is the last one. There's not a ton of footage out there of her that I can find on YouTube, but like, if you talk like Ricky Steamboat and Samoa Joe had a kid,
Can't be because it was Bull
okay,
Aja Khan
all right,
versus
maybe
Bull
not.
Nakata.
See who Bull Nakata was in Japan.
Okay.
I'm curious that. But like, if Ricky Steamboat and Samoa Joe had a kid, and they grew up before they did, it would be Kay Noble. I'm talking about the crispest arm drags. I mean, she's just so good. Okay.
Yeah, clearly two different people.
Yeah, clearly.
But Bull Nakata's the one that had the hair.
Bull Nakato's hair is way taller than Aja.
Aja had the mohawk. I said it backwards.
That's the reason I was thinking. Aja definitely wrestled. Now I see a
Yeah.
picture. She definitely wrestled in some of the buddy stuff from FMW and stuff.
Yep.
But Kay Noble, man, super crisp. Talking about a technical worker, man. Like she was a little vicious, a little mean streak. But talking about like for ladies at that time, I mean, she's doing these perfect arm drags. She's doing like headlock takeover, just cool, crisp movement. And her arm drags are probably better than Steamboat's. He probably stole them from her.
Wow.
Like they are super good. So check out Kay Noble. She works a match with Vivian Vachon. That most of the matches on there on YouTube. Like I said, it's not very much, and that's sad that a lot of these women you just can't find their footage.
Well, a lot of times there weren't stuff like
Yeah.
that. You know,
Well, and
people didn't
the
save
footage
it.
wasn't kept. You
Yeah,
know,
like
I mean,
Cornette said, they would record over it.
Yep.
Like,
throw
y'all
it
got
away,
last
you know?
week's tape? No, we're using
Yeah.
that right now to record this
Like he
week's
said,
tape.
he got all the footage he did because he pulled it out of a dumpster.
Yeah.
You know, so
Well, the guy called him.
yeah,
He's like, "Hey, man, we're fixing to throw. So you gonna do what now?"
yeah. So it sucks, man, that all that footage is lost. But
It's gone.
there was some really, really good women wrestlers. Now a lot of it was like hair pulling and throwing and that kind of stuff, but there was some really good women there in that pre attitude era. When I say pre, I'm talking about 60s, 70s, 80s. So really cool women there, man. Like go back and watch some of the stuff. It's not a lot, so you can spend an afternoon and knock out probably most of the stuff that's on YouTube. So
Let me ask you this: live that you've seen yourself, what is the best women's match? Can you remember one?
oh man, live.
Live. You booked a few. That's why I'm asking.
I mean, all the stuff I booked was decent stuff.
One's gonna surprise you because you were there, but I think you were unconscious at the time. So
Now, and the sad part about like promoting and running, and you don't get to watch a lot of it, you know. I don't know if I have a favorite. Well, I'll tell you what. I booked. She's a ref now, and I don't know her referee name. But she was like Super Aja or something like that, and she wrestled Dementia DeRose for me in Canton, and that was a pretty good match.
cool. Well, there was one. Like I say, you were unconscious because her husband had knocked you out. But it was Jazz and ODB.
Yeah,
That match.
I remember
was
things about
amazing.
that, but I don't remember.
Well, you saw it 2 nights in a row too, so you weren't unconscious the second night, so you
Yeah.
might have saw the unconscious version.
I remember
But, yeah.
bits and pieces, but I don't.
Oh, we're
remember.
gonna do that power slam. We did a power slam.
Yeah, no clue. I was asleep.
Yeah, but honestly, that's still one of the top standing matches that I ever saw. Was
I remember
ODB.
things like after the show about both ladies, but
Yeah.
I don't remember necessarily, or like before the show. But during the show, I don't remember much because nervous scares at my third match, and I'm wrestling a WWE guy getting destroyed. And I shouldn't have been there.
You got a push and a slap.
Yeah, so
But
I beat the mat up a lot.
I mean, because ODB's a different person now. We've all aged and changed. But
Yeah.
when we met ODB, she weighed what, $120?
Yeah, I mean she was
Soaking wet.
She was the
Little
typical,
bitty
you
girl.
know,
Yes.
indie girl trying to look a certain way,
Yeah.
and but yeah, she finally came
Let's
into
just
her
say
own.
there were
and-
some wrestlers that fell in love with her when they saw her on site. And some stories I can't tell on here. So, but
because I want
yeah.
to do things in my mouth.
Yeah.
that are.
Let's just say it was weird. But yeah, but she was really cool too.
I just remember like because she didn't wrestle as ODB, she wrestled as Jessica Dalton.
No, it was ODB Jessica
Okay.
Dalton. It was like
And they
one
got
total.
shorted.
Yeah, it got
Okay.
shorted down.
I just remember when she introduced herself,
Yeah.
she's like, "I'm Jessica Dalton,"
Yeah, 'cause she has a very bass voice.
and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Well, that's Jesse Dalton right there. He trained me," and he's going. So we had Jesse and Jessica.
Yeah,
Two
Because
totally
remember,
different people.
she signed Sean Waltman's chest
Yeah.
as ODB.
ODB, yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah,
We had some weird wrestling stories.
yeah, fun times. But yeah, that's been this episode of Ego and Break.
Yep.
Until next time,
Watch wrestling.
watch wrestling.